see how we do here. One down. Two down. Three down. Today we are out on the range with the Retay ACE Air Control Extreme semi-automatic shotgun. This is a great import from Turkey. We're looking forward to putting some rounds through it. Before we get into shooting today, I want to tell you that if you enjoy videos about shooting sports, product testing, industry news, you are in the right place. You are currently watching the LeCorque channel. Please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be sure of getting notifications of all of our latest uploads. We do upload weekly. So today, putting rounds down range with the Retay ACE. So we are on a closed set. This is a secure range here, a private range. We're going to start out today doing a variety of testing with different loads. So I've got a variety of different shotgun loads from light to super heavy. We're going to see how they work in this inertia drive system. So my experience with semi-automatic shotguns prior to this has been with the Remington Versamax, which is a gas-operated gun, and it works on a very different principle than does this gun. This is inspired by Benelli. When Benelli's patents ran out, Retay took some of Benelli's ideas, made them their own, improved upon them. So we're going to take a look at how they function today. So on the table here, we have 3/4 ounce hand loads that I use for cowboy action shooting. These are super light loads, and I'm not sure they're gonna cycle in any of these semi-automatic guns. Next we have American Tactical 1 ounce target loads, low recoil. Next we have the NSI Target 1 ounce loads, low recoil. We have the Top Gun 1 ounce number 8 shot at 1180 feet per second, and we have Winchester double A's, 2 3/4 ounce shells, 1 1/8 ounce shot. So we'll see how each of these cycles. Once we get past that first round, then we have some hunting loads here. So we have a Winchester Super X. These are 12 gauge, 2 3/4 ounce loads, 1 1/16 ounce of number 4 shot. Here we have 2 3/4 inch Magnum loads. This is 1 1/2 ounce of number 4 shot. This is a 2 3/4 inch shell. And next we have 3 1/2 inch shells of Winchester Super X, 1625 feet per second velocity. These are 1 1/4 ounce number 2 shot. And this is 1 3/8 ounce number 2 shot, 3 1/2 inch length, 1550 feet per second. So these are some very powerful loads. We'll be trying those second. So a couple of details to cover before we start shooting today. I want to cover what we're using to throw the targets and what the targets actually are. To support the clay throwing activities today, we are using the Champion Wheelie Bird auto feed trap system. This is a 12 volt powered trap system. I'm using it with jumper cables off the battery of my truck. This is a fantastic setup. I got it as a gift a couple years ago from a really good friend who came as a hunting guest and have really enjoyed the heck out of this thing. I'm going to put a link to this in the video description if anybody else wants to check this out. So shout out to Captain Rob, still going strong here. Today we're using the White Flyer Blackout clay targets. Picked these up at big box store, but I think they're available online. I'll put a link in the video description if I can find it. So first up here are the 3/4 ounce hand loads. Pull it. And as I suspected, they did not cycle. I'll try it one more time just to see. Yep, did not cycle. We're going to give these same rounds a try in the Remington VersaMax. This is a gas-operated gun. The way it works, it has a series of gas ports. The shorter the shell, the more ports are open to work the action. So we'll see if that makes a difference with these light loads. Pull it. And it did cycle both beautifully. Of course, we did not hit anything. We're a little rusty, and this is a new red dot that I have on this Remington VersaMax. Not sure it's sighted incorrectly. We'll see how it works this time. Well, the light loads cycled perfectly in this gas gun. So let's move up here and try next heavier loads, 1 ounce loads. So these are the American Tactical 1 ounce 12 gauge target loads. And there's a picture of busting a clay on the front here, so I think it's going to work for me. So these are the first rounds that are going through this gun. This gun is running super smoothly. I did not lubricate this out of the box. This is just how it came. The only thing I've done to this gun since I got out of the box is I did adjust the drop on this. So using the drop shims. There's a instructional video how to do that. I'll put the link here in this video if you are getting a Retay ACE and you want to figure out how to change those shims. Oh. Well, it cycled fine. Didn't hit anything, but it cycled fine. I suspect if the gun is running well on these loads, it's going to run perfectly all the way up to the heavy 3.5 inch loads. But let's go ahead and give it a try. We're moving on to the NSI target. Once again, these are 1 ounce loads. So this bolt release is really the same place on this gun that it is on my Remington VersaMax. Difference is this is an easy access big release button. Here on the VersaMax, it's just a small button, hard to manipulate in cold weather. Pull. Pull. That cycled fine. We're going to move on to the Federal blue and white box Top Gun rounds. So the plug is in this from the factory. The plug is changeable by removing this end cap here. Pull. Pull. And now we'll move on to the Winchester AA's. These are slightly larger 1 1/8 ounce loads. Pull. 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 So I am using this gun straight out of the box with the improved modified choke in it. It's a fairly tight choke. It's a tighter choke than I would usually use for shooting clays. But I figured if they thought it was good enough to shoot right out of the box, then that's what I'm going to use. So far, I'm very impressed with the smoothness of this action. It is fairly light shooting. One of the other key features I love about this gun is the bolt locking system. I highlighted on an earlier video. Apparently, inertia guns have historically had a problem of getting knocked out of battery. In this case, Retay has modified the bolt so that as it goes into battery, it twists and locks up here. There's a spring internal to the bolt that locks those cams and locks those lugs into place on it, and it's working flawlessly for me. Oh. 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 The old joke is, why do semi-automatic shotguns hold 3 rounds? The first 2 rounds are to get the gun up to operating temperature. I'm having fun here. I'm gonna go ahead and move up to some of these heavier loads and see what happens. So these are the Winchester Super X 1 1/16 ounce steel shot loads, 1,550 feet per second. This is just a 2 3/4 inch shell, but this is a fairly hot load at 1 1/16 ounce at 1,550 feet. Oh. Oh. Can't say that I really noticed any difference in recoil between these shells and the target loads. This does have a recoil dampening system built into the stock here. I saw it yesterday when I pulled the stock off to add the drop shim in here. Oh. Okay, we're going to move on, try some of these number 4. These are Federal 2 3/4 inch Magnum loads. This is a 1.5 ounce shot, number 4 shot. And by the way, I wouldn't normally be shooting a steel shot at clay birds, but for testing purposes, that's what we're doing. Oh! So I'm not sure if anybody caught what I just did there. I grabbed, instead of grabbing the shell I wanted, I grabbed the double A shell out of the wrong box, shoved it in the magazine tube there, and then I was like, what do I do to get that shell back out without shooting it? Discovered to reach in here, manipulate this. There is a release inside here. There's a, press that with the finger and unloads that gun without having to cycle them through. That's a handy feature. Oh. Once again, these are the Federal 1.5 ounce, 2 3/4 inch Magnum loads, number 4 shot. So now we're going to try moving up to the heavy shot here. So this is Super X 12 gauge 3.5 inch shells, number 2 shot, 1 1/4 ounce loads. Here we have Remington high speed steel. This is a 1 3/8 ounce loads, number 2 shot. So maybe after they cut the corn this year, we'll get a chance at some early geese and really use this 2 shot. Right now, since it's a safe range, I'm gonna go ahead and try busting a clay with 2 shot. Never did that before. We'll see what happens. So we'll try the Super X first. Well, I definitely knew that was a 3.5 inch load coming out of that gun. I'm going to compare the way that shoots to the Versamax and see if there's any difference in the felt recoil. Surprisingly, to me, these shells, this was not softer shooting out of the Versamax. I expected that with the gas operating system, it may be softer shooting than the Retay ACE. It was not. Those 3.5 shells are just not, 3.5 inch shells are just not fun to shoot. Usually hunting, I load the 3.5 inch shell, last one in the tube, and that way as the birds are departing, then I get that extra oomph. So generally do not shoot those all day long. So what else do we have to talk about on this gun? This weighed in at about 7 5/8 pounds on the scale in the office. It's competitively weighted. The Versamax was slightly heavier than that. This has a really nice crisp trigger on it with not a lot of play on it. It's very nice for a shotgun. It was well thought out by the folks at Retay. On the receiver here, I don't know if anybody noticed, on the Versamax, a while ago I added a red dot to it. I'm not sure I love that or not, but I did it anyway. If folks are inclined to do that, or to perhaps use this gun as a turkey gun, then this is drilled and tapped here to put a rail on and put some type of optic on, if you're so inclined. I think my problem with busting clays here was not with the sighting system, but with the fact of not practicing enough. This is the first time I've shot clays in I don't know how long. I want to talk about the finish on this gun. I'm not sure if this is Cerakote or if this is a wrap or what it is, but the finish looks flawless on here. This finish is the Realtree Max 4 wetland pattern camouflage. The foregrip here also has a really nice feel to it. The molded sling swivels are great. Often I've hunted places where it's a long trek to get to the blind and you're carrying decoys and shell bag and the like, and being able to sling a gun over your shoulder is really great. Or if you're going out to pick birds up, slinging that gun over your shoulder in case someone comes in on you, in case you need to finish it off, is great. It leaves hands free. I'm really a big fan of the sling swivels on here. One other thing that I really like about this gun is the loading port. I don't know why, but so many times on pump action or other semi-automatic action shotguns, I find at the end of the day my thumbnail is all torn up from shoving shells in here. Well, there's nothing rough in this area to break a thumbnail on. This is all super smooth. The gate here is super smooth and the edges are rounded off. Inside here everything is rounded and smooth, and the way the port is here is slightly indented to make it a little bit easier, not have to manipulate a weird angle to get that shell in there. One thing I noticed was throwing me off was this ear muff here. Was not able to get my right cheek weld on there. Once I pushed that back and was getting the cheek weld on, it helped me get a little dialed in on those shots. Just for fun, we're going to change the way that thrower is angling here as we finish up today's shoot. Got about 4 birds left on the thrower. Got about 6 shells between the gun and my pocket, and let's see how we do here. 1 down. 2 down. 3 down. And I think there's 2 birds left on the thrower. 1. Oh, we had a break on the thrower, so no bird on that one. But what a great way to finish up the day. Lots of fun on this. Once I figured out my sight picture, got the earphone out of the way, I started hitting on them with this the stock choke tube that was on here. Let's clear this gun before we talk any more about this. What a great way to finish off the day. Lots of fun. Once I figured out the sight picture by getting that earmuff out of the way, I was getting on those birds even with the stock choke tube in here. So I didn't try any of the other choke tubes to see if any might be better or worse than this, but had tons of fun. So RETAY USA, located in Eastern Maryland, their regional office, fantastic high-tech manufacturing facility in Turkey. That the Turkish know how to make high-quality firearms. Factory is second to none. I'll post a link here where if you want to see their manufacturing facility, you can take a look at it, because I was certainly impressed with it. These barrels are supposedly what makes the difference between their guns and other guns. These barrels are bored instead of being hammer forged. The boring process creates a dead straight barrel, as they say, on it, and there's no need for cryo treating once the barrel drilling is completed, boring is completed. So far, I'm super impressed with this. I wouldn't hesitate in the least to take this on my next hunt. This is a top quality gun. Love the finish on it, love the way it performed. It fired beautifully and flawlessly out of the box. If you enjoy videos like this, please check back to the LeCorque channel. We do post weekly. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be sure you get all the updates and information from the LeCorque channel.